my side too. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. All righty, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Back again with another great Fathers and Finances show. Missing our fourth horseman, Trevor. We're gonna miss him a few weeks. Hopefully not too many weeks, but yeah, we're gonna miss my guy for a couple weeks. He handling some stuff, but I still got my guy Patrick Graves, Pat Bliggity Black Tie Graves on with me, Mr. Isaac Papa Crumbly up there.
That's it.
Sir, how y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Oh, we good, brother. We good, man.
Good.
I like that introduction you gave me there. It made me feel all good inside.
You know? Most definitely. All right, guys. Good. Our topics this evening, interesting. You know, when in the dating world, is looking at, you know, when you look at you guys as, you know, you're conversing and given the information. We already had a show about, you know, is it too much information, or when should you talk about financial information when dating? But we're going to be discussing if the person you're talking to, if they have too much debt or bad credit, would that be a deal breaker for you? We wish we had more people registered for this show so we could get some interaction, get them engaged, and get some more thoughts other than our thoughts on it. But it's definitely interesting. Me personally, I wouldn't care too much about that can be fixed. You know what I mean? Debt and, you know, bad credit, that can be fixed. So what do you think? How you feel about it, Patrick?
Hey, to be honest, I think that it wouldn't affect a lot of people in our culture at all, because a lot of people are not taught about credit or debt until they get into it, and then they learn the hard way. I'm being one of those people that didn't. When me and my girl started talking, we never discussed debt or credit. Of course, we started talking in high school, but at the same time, as we grew up, it was something that I just started doing as we started looking for a house, raising a family together. So it's like, all right, okay, it's time to start thinking about, hey, how much debt we have and how this credit thing works for us and how important credit is. Understanding that, you know, if you don't have good credit, you're going to be paying twice to 3 times more than what somebody that has good credit is paying. So just understanding those things is really key. But I guess I would say that, you know, finance is one of the top reasons why people get divorced in our society now. So it's like us knowing about that could be saving our relationship, to be all the way honest, because those type of stresses, financial stress on a relationship is very it's a hard burden to really carry. And by y'all working together to fix that, I think that it'll make your bond a lot stronger. And so I think that it's very important to now, as we shift into a life where we're taking more thought and more consideration to our credit, our financial well-being, our planning for our future, and all of those things. It's definitely brought us a lot closer, knowing what's going on with us.
And before Isaac chime in, I just want to touch on, like I was telling Tanisha in the production meeting. I'm like, well, I'm not getting to know their, you know, or I'm not trying to be with their credit or their debt. You know what I mean? The person, I'm attracted to the person. You know what I mean? And like I said, the credit and debt thing, man, that's fixable. So it's, you know, it's not much to, you know, help her and, you know, whatever, you know, to get it right. But what you feeling like over there, Isaac? What you say something?
I was about to say so too.
Yeah,
I was about to say so. Isaac, hold on now. Let me say something about this now. All right, so check it. Now, me, say I was a single man in my mind right now, that would matter to me. Because if a person credit I mean, I can be attracted to a person all day. You can be attracted to anybody, but say their attitude isn't the right way, their mindset and how they thinking is not on the same wavelength as you. No matter how attracted you are to this person, it's not gonna work for you because there's something in you that's gonna her demons are gonna mess with your innocence or whatever the case may be, or whatever how you think is gonna mess with how she is. Now, not saying that people can't change because definitely people can change.
Absolutely.
And if y'all seen if she's looking to get better and you already in a place that you can help her, or if you're not in a place and say you're building the same thing and y'all build together, like I said, um I definitely think that it can build a relationship along with building your finances. But at the same time, if I'm a single person and I talk to her, I'm attracted to her, and her credit is messed up, I'm going to think about it for a little bit before I say, "Hey, let's join our accounts together." You know what I mean? I give her my credit card. If she got bad credit, I may not be so quick to be like, hey, you can use my credit card this time because, hey, the credit companies don't think you're doing good with your money.
Yeah.
You got bad credit or whatever the case may be. I don't know if I want to let you do that yet. I would have to. It would just be just like those companies. I need to see you and see those changes that you trying to make just like me. So like
now,
Well, let me tell y'all young heads something, man. Y'all
uh-oh.
what's up, Papa? Let us know what it is, man.
no, I don't disagree with y'all, man. What I wanted to say though was that, it really depends. I mean, y'all can't depends on the situation, in all honesty. For instance, if somebody has been doing great with their credit and then they got hit hard during the pandemic, I'm gonna hold out against them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot of people lost their jobs. You do what you got to do when you're trying to survive. So if somebody's been out there trying to survive, and do certain things, and now that you meet them now, they're like, man, 2020 was rough. I had X, Y, and Z going on, and if my credit took a hit, I was just trying to survive. I didn't work for 5 months. That's a completely different situation. You got to try to give somebody, if you were, so obviously the physical attraction is what made you approach them in the first place. You start dating and talking, and through the process of discussing, what's going on in each other's lives, and you kind of find out. That's one thing. But if they just like, man, I'm trifling. I mean,
yeah. You can't, that's too risky. Too risky.
Nobody's gonna say they just trifling. But what I'm saying is,
right, for sure.
If you determine, you're like, yeah, how you got bad credit? I ain't paying them people. You know what I'm saying? If they got one of them type of attitudes, then you just like, okay, that might be a deal breaker.
It is now, Pat. Now you didn't mention though, Pat, if the bad credit or the bunch of debt is a deal breaker for you. I know you kind of elaborated on, what the kind of issues you would have with it, or how would you treat it if the lady you was talking to had either of the two. Now, would that be a deal breaker for you though?
So for me, I don't believe that it'd be a deal breaker just because I believe who I am, right? You know what I'm saying? And it always depends on that person. Like it's kind of like that one song where they say, "Don't save her." Because at the end of the day, it's either you're gonna interject yourself and your know-how and your values into a person, or you're not. So like if I feel that I'm going to be in this place, right? And I'm going to be in this stature as far as financial wealth, credit being high and good, and just my financial well-being being good. That person, I'm going to interject that into, or I'm going to put that into them just by them being around me and me talking to them. And if she really is there for you, she's going to listen to what you're saying because you're not going to be saying anything wrong. Granted, like I said, there's some people that will take that lead for that person and some people won't, because maybe that person is not, it's just not that person for them to say that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you decide to get married, not me not being married now, y'all two are the only people that got married. But I know that when I get married, I have to take the good and the bad and try to do everything that I can to help with the bad, accept the good and the bad, what it comes with, just like how that person has to do with me.
Pat, though, man, I'm gonna be definitive here. Depending on how the credit happened, it could be a deal breaker.
Yeah, it could. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Thinking of how, yeah.
But I mean, I'm just saying though, Isaac. So you mean to tell me? I mean, it also depends on the relationship between the two people, because finances can be a deal breaker, but the relationship is your relationship strong enough, or is it not strong enough that finances can break that? You know what I mean?
Let me give you some 29 year worth of marriage advice. Whatever is an irritant to you now, it's gonna be problematic as hell when you get married. So if the, like my wife she always talks about the thing that she loved about me was my passion and how I was passionate about certain things and would vociferously and passionately defend stuff. She said she didn't recognize when we were dating that at some point in time we're gonna come to odds, and then I'm gonna be just as passionate and vociferous and all of that. And what she loves, she actually hates. just depends on what side of the coin she gets, whether she loves it or whether she hates it. Sometimes even when I'm doing it to somebody else, she looks at it and goes, I hate when he does that to me. You know what I'm saying? I recognize that and I hate it. So if it's an irritant now, meaning, it just kind of gets on your nerves and y'all ain't really addressed it, man, it's going to be problematic. I mean, bro, it'll make you pull your hair out. You see, I ain't got no hair. It'll make you pull your hair out if you don't address it.
You'll pull your scalp out.
You pull your scalp out. I mean, because, trust, man, I got friends, at times, finances has been a problem for us, not because of lack, somebody not wanting to work. It's just been in our marriage, it's been a lack of finance. And then how we handled that lack of finance, we did not discuss. That's where the communication comes in. And that's where, and just to sidetrack, just to give people a little note out there, y'all need to, people set some rules for communication. Because if you don't set rules for how you talk to one another in ways that doesn't piss the other person off, where both of y'all's ears can be open to listen, not just hear, but to listen, then it don't matter what y'all talk about, finances, sex, children, whatever it is. If y'all don't develop the proper communication skills to talk about it, it's going to be a problem. But with finances, man, if you just kind of like, oh, she kind of spends now, it's an irritant. It's cute because she buys me things, she buys little stuff that I like. But then when you get married and you can't go nowhere, like you can't just drop her off back at her place because her place is your place. And then she goes out and buys something stupid that you don't agree with. And you're like, yo, babe, we're trying to buy a house. You just spent, what are Manolos? What else? I'm a fan of the red bottom shoes and all that type of mess.
Red bottoms.
They could be $1,000 and bullshit like that. Like, why they cost that much, even for men's shoes with Jordans and stuff like that? I don't understand. But still, if she goes out one day and buys some Manolo Blancs or Blahniks or whatever they call it, and there's some red bottoms, and you come home like, yo, we're trying to buy this house, and you just spent $2,000 on some shoes, that's the problem. That ain't cute no more.
Right. Yeah, man. Yeah, and Pat mentioned an interesting point earlier, where when you first talking to each other and whatnot, and the conversation about finances, it could prevent some later stuff if you feel like it's possible that you guys can get serious. If it's just if you're not about to try to settle down at all, then it's you out of the conversation. It's like there's no need. No need to talk about it all.
We ain't talk. Well, this whole thing about serious stuff, man. We ain't talking about casual stuff. Ain't no need to talk about finances.
Okay.
Ain't no need to talk about finances with casual stuff.
Okay, cool. So
we know where that's going.
Facts. So, all right, look, but yeah, that is an interesting point though, discussing those things early so that you kind of know. And also, Isaac, you made a good point about the communication with, knowing how to be able to communicate with one another about those different subjects like that, knowing what kind of tone and everything that would kind of throw the other person off or make them upset or offend them in some sort. That's all key.
That's big.
Creating that.
That's big.
We gotta figure that out.
I'm glad you said that, Isaac, because it's so big. Because I mean, I've experienced that in my own relationship, because I used to think to myself, like, maybe I don't know how to talk to my girl and she doesn't know how to talk to me. I'm getting mad about a simple conversation.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be mad. I want to hear what she got to say, but I'm already pissed off about the thing. And a lot of times when we have had conversations, even when the conversation is something that's constructive, I still go behind that conversation and say I apologize for the energy, because it don't be exactly what you're saying unless you're saying something outrageous. But why are you saying outrageous something, anything, to the person you say that you love?
Yeah.
It's because of that energy. And sometimes you can walk in a room before you even say nothing. She pissed off. Yeah. She already know what you got. She already know what you got going on, because you just came in the room with the energy. Like, hey, it's there before you even start talking. So it's like, it's one of those things that you have to really like. It's a daily thing that you have to really
study women, and then study your woman.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Study women in general, and then study your woman, because I'm telling you, man, men and women are so different. So different. The last big argument, I don't want to call it, because my wife and I really we have heated discussions. We don't have arguments. Like, we don't raise our voices at one another, because those are one of the deal breakers that we have. Now, we talk passionately about stuff, but we don't call, like, my wife in anger has, like, she may call me silly. She probably called me silly, Patrick, when you helped me move.
Mm-hmm.
She probably said, quit being a butt or something like that. But in anger, my wife has never, ever called me a name. I've never called her a name. And one of the things that you just got to kind of remember when you're discussing these things is how women process stuff. They process stuff with their feelings, and we don't process stuff with our feelings. They in turn respond with feelings, which can make us go into our feelings and get angry about stuff. Like, I mean, think about it. How many times have you had a discussion with your wife? I'm laughing because we all had this discussion with your woman, and you're saying one thing, and she responds back, and you just go, how do we get here? Like, I don't understand.
I don't want to be here.
Let me go. Let me go.
I was talking about this. I'm over here. How did we just hop over here? It seems like a complete 180. Not like it's 90 degrees left or right. You just going, boom, how did we get there? It's because you communicated something in a way that she took the wrong way. And then she responded in a way that you weren't thinking about. And then you end up to the left or the right, or you facing all the way.
You got to be a very skilled man to understand and navigate through that, to bring them back. Because if you get caught up, the thing about it is, for me, I say at the end of the day, I want to control what's happening in the conversation. Not saying I want to control what she's saying. I just want to get my point across for her to understand and hear what she got to say off of what I'm saying to her. So if the end objective of the conversation is we have come up to a solution, or we come to agree to disagree on that, whatever conversation that is. But if we don't come to that, I get even more angry, because now I got to have it again. Do you feel where I'm coming from? Now I got to have this conversation again with you. The emotions is going to still come out. I didn't get anything done the last time, so we shouldn't even did it last time. And now we here again. And that's my main objective. Whenever I have a disagreement or anything that happens with me and my lady, like, I'm like, yo, when this happened, I have to control it, because then I think we're made that way on purpose. I think God made us that way to think in a rational way, and for our women to think in an emotional way, so that it connect and you think rationally and emotionally at the same time. That's I feel like
you're supposed to bring out the masculine traits in her. She's supposed to bring out the feminine traits in you, so that you can you know, it's best looked at with your children. You know, men, we're quick to discipline a lot of times. Women are quick to mercy. Sometimes you need, as men, we need to recognize when mercy is necessary, and as women, they need to sometimes recognize when somebody needs to whip that behind. You know, not mercy doesn't always have to happen, and discipline doesn't always have to happen. So that's the easiest way to kind of try to figure that out. But with women, man, I'm telling you, Pat, I hear what you're saying. The way I discuss things, like where I feel like I know that I'm right. I give you an example early on in our marriage. I was having difficulty explaining to my wife there was something wrong with our furnace in the first house that we moved into. It had some type of hole coming through one of the pipes, so it was working double time. So I was telling my wife I said we needed to dress warmly at night, maybe use a space heater or something like that when it's cold, but we don't need to keep this heat running because of the furnace. Right. And what she heard was, you have a poverty mindset and you don't want me to be comfortable. You want me to live like a peasant. That's what she heard me say. And I was kind of like, what okay, the furnace, to fix the furnace is gonna be like, to fix the furnace was gonna be like $1,200, $1,300. We just got married. So I didn't have that. Like, we weren't balling out of control when I first got married. So I was like, I gotta save this money up for the furnace. And she was just like, I didn't expect you as my man to make me be living in poverty. Like I didn't, like I can't be comfortable, this, that, and the other. And so this is early in our first year or so, and we're going through these communication problems. So I'm going, and at a certain point for me, I just have to go, okay, we'll do it your way. So we went for a solid month doing things her way. Take a guess how much our gas bill was with a broken furnace. Take a wild guess.
$1,500.
Half of that, it was $750. Now, it had been before the furnace broke. It had been like, I don't know, $120 or something like that. The thing was $750. She was going, so when she saw the bill, she was like, oh, see, what happened? I said, no. I didn't want you living in poverty. I was trying to explain about the furnace. I was trying to explain what happened during the furnace.
Exactly.
But you said you didn't want to live in poverty and won't. Now we are in poverty and won't, because now I can't even save up for the furnace. I have to pay $750 for your utility bill. And she was like, well, why didn't you just, I said, I did. But see, that's where the communication comes in. I didn't communicate. If we keep running this furnace like this, the bill is going to be, I don't know what I was saying, but she wasn't hearing that. The only thing she heard was, I ain't got enough money to fix the furnace right now, so we got to live like peasants, which I'm not, I don't know where she got that from, but over time, we figured out a system, and that don't just happen in the first year. That happens over a period of time. So you got to have these discussions, man, where, you're able to actively to communicate that. So, and don't get me wrong, Charlene has corrected me on numerous occasions as well. This is just one. This is Fathers and Finances. So I just
it's our time. It's our time right here.
All right. Welcome, Kai. I see Kai on with us. How you doing this evening? Welcome, man.
That's Corey, man.
Oh, that was Corey?
Yeah, that's Corey.
Okay.
But what's the next topic, Marcus?
But yeah, that was it. That was as far as the topics. There was, is the debt in.
How do you guys take it now? We're talking about it for us. What about if we're struggling? All of us know ourselves. We all know that we work hard.
Yeah.
I've at one point in time, I've had 3 jobs in my life when I was married and had my son. When I first had my son, I had 3 jobs and I slept 3 hours a day. So all of us have worked hard. We know what our work ethic is.
Right.
But how do you feel when a woman judges you and says, when you're struggling, and goes, his debt is high or his credit isn't where he needs to be. He's a deadbeat. He's a broke nigga for lack of a better term. How do y'all feel about that when the shoe's on the other foot?
Well, like I said before, it's all about what you think of yourself. At the end of the day, you as the man have to lead.
Mm-hmm.
So we're built. Why we don't get so emotional is so that we can take all of that. Mm-hmm. We can hear that and say, all right, I'm gonna show you. For me, it's like this. If you ever doubt me, or if you ever say anything like, oh, Pat, you can't do this.
Yeah.
It's like Michael Jordan. You gotta have that dog in you where I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
Not to show you to prove you wrong or say, oh, I'm about to prove you wrong. I want to show you because dang, I can't believe you thought that about me. And I gotta prove to myself, like, whatever he said was not true. What he said wasn't true. It's not to prove him wrong, but about myself, you will never speak on me in a way that's like, hey.
That could play on our psyche too, bro.
Yeah, it can.
We know what we is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you allow it to. If you allow it to, you definitely, and that's the thing about, I feel like, about life. Whatever you allow into your life to manifest itself and to say that that's what you are, and if you believe that, then that's what you will be. But at the same time, those are just voices outside. Everybody has their path that they're walking, and you got to make sure that everything is moving in the way that you need it to move in. For you, not because somebody else said it or, you know, your wife saying it, whatever the case may be. Of course, you're doing everything for your family. Right. So whatever choice that you make, I feel that the wife is in their position is to trust in that and say, hey, whatever you got going on, I know you're going to fix it. If you say, oh, you broke, whatever the case may be, when I get that money,
honey.
If I'm broke now, best believe it ain't gonna always be that way.
Facts.
And when I do, it ain't like I ain't gonna break you off. But you know, some of that you gonna feel some of that, because I definitely gonna treat myself and be like, girl, you know you could get it, you could use that, but you know that mine.
Right.
That could have been yours. But that's mine. Yeah. I might let you get it later. Because I mean, I feel like that's a part of it. We're people of habit, and we're people of competition. So
sure, definitely.
Whether it's your wife or a friend or whatever the case may be, that's how you push each other forward and pushes through all the mess that life brings.
Yeah, and I feel like if I'm in a position where she's we dating, I'm jacked up. You know what I'm saying? My credit bad. I got a lot of debt. I'm the type of person, I'm going to work. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to show her that I can better myself, and not even so much show her, because it's already within myself to better myself. She probably would look at that. If it's a red flag for her, then I would just explain to her how I'm, in the process of fixing that. But
also,
everybody else different is, I don't.
Marcus, also, it's like this too, though. If you be straight up with people, whether that's your wife, your girl, whatever case may be, this person don't gotta be with you.
Right.
And if you feel that strongly about me, and the thing about with me is, I think both sides of the spectrum, right? So when I hear somebody say something to me, I know it's me, I switch to that side and be like, if I was that person, and I'm saying that about somebody else.
Yeah.
If I'm saying that about that person and I wouldn't take it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then I wouldn't want you to take it. You feel me? Right. You shouldn't have to take anything from anybody.
Right.
You came on this earth, God put you here. It's God, family, you first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you definitely gotta think about that. Like, hey, all right, if you feel that I'm gonna always be here and you're not saying I help you through this, then maybe we ain't supposed to be together.
Right. Right. And also,
because Because if I'm on the other foot and your credit is bad, and I say I love you, and I'm looking at you, and I'm like, your credit bad. You got a lot of debt. It's two things that I'm gonna do. Like I said, it's either I'm gonna help you with it, or I'm gonna say peace.
But no, it's
And it's a harsh truth, but people make this decision every day. And then they cover it up instead of saying like that's what it is. They say, oh, I've noticed even in myself. If something's wrong, instead of addressing the problem, you may look for other problems to justify why you want to make a move or whatever the case may be. Instead of just saying, hey, this is what the problem is. Can we fix it? If we can't fix it, you know what I'm saying? You got to let folks go sometimes.
Yeah.
You got to let folks go. You can't bring and you can't bring everybody with you. You know what I'm saying? But the things that are important to you, fight like they are important to you like that. You know what I mean? So when it comes to that, if I was the one in the position, I would say it's two things that I'm gonna learn. If you riding with me, when I get mine, I'm giving you the world. You know what I mean? And if I'm in the position where it's like this, I'm saying, hey, you with me now. What you got is mine. I'm gonna make sure that not only that I help you, but I help you understand what you're doing so that, you know what I'm saying, we move like a unit. Because that's what it's about. It's a team, it's a team effort. This life is about team. You learn it first by being in a family, and your family should act in that way as a team. So if you're a good team player, you'll be in a good relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
And you'll be, and then you'll also be able to understand if that's the right team to be on.
Right.
Sometimes it's a lot of people that be on the wrong team. So how you supposed to fix your credit or fix your financial well-being if you at turmoil at the house and you don't even, you know what I'm saying, y'all bickering and fighting over who gonna cook
stuff. Right.
Why this ain't happening and why that ain't happening. How are you gonna focus on something as intricate as personal finances? Because it's a lot of that goes into it. How do you focus on that if you got all these distractions outside of the world? On top, you know, it's at home on top of what's going on in the world.
One of the things, man, I like about our campaign is how we offer solutions. One of the things that I found interesting on our, and obviously we don't want to get too deep into our program. I mean, you can certainly go to the classes for free. We have free classes here, but one of the things that I found interesting was how when you list out your debts, and then you take that smallest one and you pay that off. And then you don't take that extra money. You don't go buy a car with that. You don't go do any extra stuff with that. You apply that to the next bill. And then you pay off that second bill. And then that money, when that's free, when that second bill is now free, you go to the third bill. And then you pay that off till eventually you get to the point where you're no longer in debt. And then here at our program, remember the young lady that we talk about on our share, that got rid of $65,000 worth of debt during a pandemic. She got rid of $65,000 worth of debt in the middle of a pandemic. You know, you not only did she take that approach of take the smallest bill, next bill, you can pay it off. She also joined the campaign. Got her money. And so she not only took the money that she had, she took the extra money that she was earning now from working with us and paid off her bills. So that ended up totaling to the point of $65,000 in debt, which when you get rid of your debt like that, you know, obviously there's some debt that you need to keep and hold, but when you get rid of just department store here, credit card here, department store, credit card here, personal loan here, you know, those types of things, man, you know, they build your credit. So, you know, what was her credit score at the start of 2020? And then what was her credit score at the end of 2020?
So big difference in that.
But that also, Isaac, that's also a lot of discipline that she showed. A lot of times we're talking about what you can do and all of the solutions that are out there for all of us, but we got to get to the root of the problem. It's just discipline.
Yeah.
It's just discipline. And I'm not someone that's disciplined in the way that I want to be. You know what I'm saying? I'm just knowing that, hey, if you're more disciplined, you're more, you will get the things that you need to be done. And you can't go into a debt roll-up strategy without being disciplined.
Yeah, because you're
Right.
that roll-up strategy ain't gonna roll up.
It's not going to work. That's the thing about it. If you don't put no discipline behind what you're talking about, whether it's us playing basketball or us talking about finances, us being on this show to talk to the guests, like if we don't come to talk and share this information, that's a lack of discipline, which means that's one person that won't be touched. That's one gold nugget that we lost because we didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? That's one bill that didn't get paid that the interest went up on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you got to have the discipline behind knowing. So after knowing and addressing what the issue is, have the discipline to work at what you have to get done. And it may not take 2 or 3. I mean, it may not be like a quick fix. You may have to put some months into doing this, maybe a year into doing this. But if you had a discipline, what I'm saying is, all of the greats talk about discipline.
Yeah.
Forgive the movement, brother. It started to rain outside, so I had to.
Oh yeah,
Okay, yeah.
You're good.
I had to come on in.
Can't get the computer wet.
I can't get everything wet out there.
For sure. Yeah, man, that discipline is crazy. And just imagine with her, she paid off $65,000 in debt during the pandemic. So just think of how much she made. She paid off $65,000. She ain't make $65,000. You know what I'm saying?
She didn't pay all of it all. She didn't use every dime she made that year.
Exactly.
She definitely made. I know she probably made in the upper 100,000.
Yeah.
Pay that off.
For sure.
And then think about this, fellas. She's part of the campaign. So not only was she disciplined, and then she paid off the debt. Now that debt she had can go towards a proper savings plan. So it's an IUL, Roth IRA, whatever it is that she wants to get into. Annuity. She can get into that and start putting money away for her future if she hadn't been doing that already. So if I don't know what the monthly amount on $65,000 is, I guess that's roughly roughly $5,000.
$5,000 a month.
So I mean, she don't have to save all $5,000. She really doesn't. She can save $1,000. $1,000 at my age at 51 is pretty good still for an IUL. But if she just made $5,000, put $5,000 in her pocket, she could do half of that easy and be set for life.
Yeah, for sure.
She could be set for life.
For sure.
So I mean,
absolutely.
That's a tremendous amount of discipline. And to be honest, man, that's what our people lack, is a lack of discipline.
Yep.
We're disciplined. I take it back. We're disciplined about the wrong stuff.
Yeah. Because we could be disciplined, but
we're disciplined about the wrong stuff. Every week, come to, my juice bars. Y'all been to my juice bar. Y'all come there on Thursday. No, y'all come on Tuesday and Friday. It'd be the same people in there at the place next door, gambling and doing lottery tickets, spending money. And they spend anywhere from $30 to $100 on a Tuesday and on a Friday.
Yeah.
So if you're on the low end of spending $30 on Tuesday and Friday, that's $60. That's $240 a month. And if you're on the high end, that is $600 a month. What could you be doing with $240 and $600? No, I'm sorry, that's 100 2 times a week. That's 800.
Yeah.
What could you be doing with $800 a month and then the $240 a month, bruh?
Yeah.
Those people would be out. There would be no need to gamble.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
There would be no need to play the lottery.
Yeah.
So another thing that I wanted to speak about, just on discipline, I had asked myself this question, and if I want to talk about discipline to people, how do I become more disciplined? And I had a man tell me that how you become disciplined is doing something that you don't want to do like you love it, right? And continuing to do those things and stop letting yourself down. You know what I mean? Like if somebody else let you down, you'll get really mad at that person. Say a person say, "Hey, I'm gonna bring this over," and you'll get mad at that person because they let you down. But how mad do you really get when you let yourself down? It's things that you wake up every morning or every morning you have tasks that you have to do, that you need to do, right? And a lot of times things may come up and then you decide like, all right, I can't do this because of this, but there's a way that you can do it, but you don't feel like doing it that way. And then you say, hey, I'm gonna just wait till tomorrow. Well, you let yourself down because you wanted to get that task done that day. And we don't really take that very seriously because it doesn't affect us right immediately.
Yeah.
But that action of you letting yourself down continues to build up. And then sooner or later, you stop altogether doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And it becomes a way of life, like things that you're supposed to do that you're normally doing, you're not doing these things anymore. And then you start seeing yourself fall down this rabbit hole where you got to crawl back up, and then you talk to yourself talking about how you can be more disciplined. But if you had just stayed disciplined, you'll
Stayed
be
on the course.
you would have been in this place because that course doesn't change. That's the thing about it. That course doesn't change. Whatever mileage that you're going to take, you got to take it regardless. So you might as well stay disciplined. Ain't no shortcuts.
Keep knocking it down. Yeah.
Ain't no shortcuts. Even though people that win the lotto, it wasn't no shortcut of them getting it.
Nope. Right. They didn't waste a lot of money. They didn't wasted a lot of money to get that winning ticket. Mm-hmm. You can believe that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, my son told me this. I've since heard this story hundreds of times, but the first person that told me this story was my son. He told me this story about this guru that was out teaching somewhere, and he had this one guy that came to his course or whatever and was like, I want to be like you. Come on, please tell me what's the secret. I need to know how to be like you. And the guy was like, fine, you want to be like me? Meet me tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock on the beach. So they meet 5 o'clock on the morning. So he's thinking they're going to run and jog and do all this other stuff. And he said, come with me out to the water. So the guy goes out to like the chest high part of the water, and the guru holds the man down. And the man is struggling, trying to get up for breath. He can't get up for breath.
And he could cause some punches.
And right before he passes out, the man pulls him up. And the guy was like, nigga, what was that about? You know what I'm saying? Well, why did you? I'm out here.
You about drowning.
Trying to get knowledge to try to find out how to survive. I'm trying to find out how to be like you.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, what do you want in life? And he said, I want, whatever the goal was. And he said, a minute ago, when I was holding you underwater, what did you want the most? He said, I wanted to breathe. He said, you need to want your goal like you wanted how bad you wanted to breathe when I was holding you underwater. Yeah. That's how bad you have to have your goal. That's my secret. Yeah. And so like my son was the first one to tell me that, but I've heard that story a million times since he told me that. Mm-hmm. But that's how you have to kind of have that focus. I think it goes to what you were saying, Patrick, that's discipline.
Yeah.
And if you feel like, if you feel like I can't breathe without this goal, then that's kind of where you need to be. Puffy went to Howard University. Puff Daddy went to Howard University, and people would pick at him for dressing like a mogul. But he was like, I have to dress he carried a briefcase around. He didn't carry a book bag. He didn't dress like students dress. He dressed like the image he thought a mogul should dress like. And he always had that in his mind of, I am a mogul. Yeah. And everything about him, like people that I know that have met him say, the brother does not sleep because he's like, you can sleep when you are dead. I got too much stuff to accomplish. He may sleep 2, 3, 4 hours a night. And then he's up in the morning.
Right. Back at it.
He sleeps on his plane when he's coming to Atlanta or going to LA or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
The man, you know, he's focused on what his goals are. And that's kind of how we have to be about whatever it is that we say that we want to do.
Absolutely. That definitely will naturally, I think if you want your goals that bad, that'll naturally make you have discipline, because there's no way you can have your goals that bad without discipline. You know what I mean? Or achieve them. You know what I'm saying? So if you really want them like that, you're gonna be disciplined.
What Les Brown said, you don't, he said you don't really want your goals, you just kind of want them.
Right.
You like the way it sounds, you like the way it looks, like being wealthy, you know what I'm saying? Like you like the image of what you think wealth is. Yeah. But at the end of the day, are you willing to get up every day and push for it? And that means when you tired, that means when you don't feel like doing it, that means when you sick, that means when your baby's sick, that means when your wife is hurting, when you got to take care of different things and how it gets stressful. And you still make your effort and do what you need to do to attain that goal is laser like focus. Yeah. And that you know, that's really my goal. That's really my goal. Is like, because I know one thing I know is once I accomplish that and know that I have that down, I'm going to be where I need to be. Everything will fall into place. I will look up and see everything that in my wildest dreams, even things that I didn't even think was going to happen. You know, people go out there and really grind hard and get into that. And then you will hear them talk about, I never even thought that this was going to grow like this. I didn't even think it was going to be where it is. You know what I'm saying? Somebody may write a book and then it turned into a series of movies. They never thought that it was going to do that. They just wanted to publish the book. Yeah.
You know
what I'm saying? So
for sure. And when it comes to the discipline, you really just, when your body, or when you get the urge to want to not do something that you had to do, make yourself do it. That's how you can practice. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like once every time you feel, just like, you know, when you get that gut feeling, you might want to listen to it. Every time you feel like you had something planned for the day, whatever it is, it can be small, because that's when it starts with the small stuff. So you gotta, you know, hold yourself accountable for the small stuff and, you know, accomplish it. And, you know, especially if you planned out for it. But if you feel like, man, I don't feel like going to the gym today. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like going. Go. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I don't feel like reading that book. Or, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like reading that chapter today. It don't matter if you sleep yet. Drink an energy drink. You know what I mean? Throw some water on your face. Do it. Just do it. Every time you feel like you don't want to do something that you plan to do, just do it. Just do it.
Can two undisciplined people be together? Like one's disciplined and one's undisciplined. Can they survive?
Anything is possible. But yeah,
like Kevin Durant said, it's possible. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's gonna be a struggle.
It is.
It's gonna be a struggle. It takes that disciplined person to be patient. Yeah. And it takes that undisciplined person to have their ears open and being willing to learn.
Let me ask you about this. Let me ask you this, Pat and Marcus. Can two disciplined people be together? And I'm asking like that because you can be super disciplined and y'all be focused on separate things and be mad disciplined.
Yeah.
And that could end up being a problem. So, you know, you got some, like I know some couples, one dude, I'm thinking about a client of mine actually. He's super disciplined on work. He's very wealthy. That's a client of mine. He's very, very wealthy. And you can't hardly talk to him for 2 seconds. Like when you talk to him, you better talk to him, hit it quick, because his mind is focused back on his business and growing his business and opening other stuff. So if you're talking about something, you better address it immediately. His wife, on the other hand, is super focused on the house and the children, and making sure that is well maintained. And I can't tell, man, I'm telling you, watching them two have discussions is like both of them are disciplined people. You know, it's not like they not disciplined, but he's not disciplined at home. Yeah. So when he comes home, you know, like he's gonna talk to the children, like he's gonna talk to the children, he's gonna talk to her, but he's not focused on the rules that she's got set up. And then when he's focused on business, like, don't bother me, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy this lifestyle that you live in? You do. Then please leave me alone. Let me focus on this business. And those two, man, it's interesting watching them kind of try to communicate.
And I mean, at the same time, on that, it's compromise. You know what I mean? You know, it's okay to be disciplined. You know what I mean? And it can work. But it's okay to be disciplined. But if, you know, you get home, yeah, I'm sure your lady, you know, enjoy the lifestyle, whatever. But you can take a little small break real quick. You know what I mean? To, you know, tend to your family, give your family some attention, 45 minutes, an hour, you know what I mean? Hour and a half. Get back to your work.
It ain't that easy for everybody, Marcus.
It ain't that easy for everybody, man. Listen, some people's personalities, bro, it's you know, when my son is laser focused on something, like, and I, you know, I'm not speaking from his wife's standpoint. I'm speaking from a parent standpoint. When my son is laser focused on something, it's hard to get his attention. You can't. I mean, he's especially if it's about his music. He's locked in, man. He may not notice just certain things that you think are evident around you, because that's how you can close everything out. Like, I can't necessarily, I could be focused on something, but I don't close nothing off.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I want to be aware. My son can shut down. Yeah. And if you come into a space, like, it's gonna be a problem. So I don't know how his wife deals with it. You know, I'm not there. Yeah. I just know me and his mama.
She probably already understands that, though. Just like what you just said, she probably understands that and kind of be like, well, she might just stay out of the way until she sees the moment where she knows that she can capture it. Yeah. She can do things you can't do, Isaac.
Come on. Walk with me, soldier.
She know your son in ways you don't know him. And she probably know how to manipulate him to not manipulate in a bad way, but to get him out of that zone to tend to what she needs to be done, and then he'll go right back, maybe he'll snap right back. But obviously, you know, they've come to agreement or came to she's learned him to be able to get what she needs, and then when he goes back, it's not something that's a problem. But I'm pretty sure that they have that communication.
Yeah. I only bring him up because my client is like my son on steroids. Like, my son is very thoughtful. You know, he's very conscious. Like I only bring my son's level of discipline up because that's how I raised him to be, and he's extremely disciplined. His workout, he used to work out with me. He got sick one time, really sick. He was in the hospital. I didn't realize how in shape he was. His resting heart rate was under 40 beats a minute. That's how strong his heart was pumping. Yeah. That when he went to the hospital, he was setting off the alarms, and the nurses were coming in going, "Is your son, is he okay?" He was like, "Yeah, he's fine." But his resting heartbeat was like 38, 39 beats a minute. So I was trying to scare him. So his heartbeat would go up to like 42, 43, so that the monitors weren't going. And this is when he was 17. This is how disciplined he was working out. He used to go to the field and hit every day. So that's how he is. And what I'm telling you is, about my client, my son, if you stopped him and was like, boom, I need you to do this, he would do it. He would focus on it. My client, on the other hand, he could be looking you dead in the eye, and you can watch him. And this is stuff he asked me to do for him. Like, he called me and was like, "Hey, I need you to go over some rates. I need to do X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah." I go over, I sit down and talk to him, and I start explaining to him, and you just see his mind zone out. And he'll go, "Hold on," and he'll make a phone call. And then he'll come back, and he'll be like, "I had to take care of business, go ahead." And you're sitting there talking to him, and he'll zone out. He'll say, "I need to make another phone call." Boom. I've been at this man's house for an hour and a half on a simple 20-minute because he can't focus long enough, because his mind just glazes over. Like, you can't. And I'd be like, stop. Don't do that. Don't make a phone call. I need this information. I need it. So it's people like that just can't that can't stop and do other things at the same time. I mean, his eyes literally glaze over. And you be looking at his wife, him and his wife, and she wants to choke him. She's just sitting there like, I know he's zoned out. I know he's zoned out. I'm gonna reach over here and stab him in the chest. It's so hilarious. But they're both very, very disciplined.
Yeah, that's good. That's good right there, man. And
so Marcus, to close us out, as far as credit and debt being a deal breaker, my vote is not a deal breaker, but it can be. So it depends on how much you really care about that. And me wanting to say that whatever you're doing, regardless of if you got a lot of debt or you're trying to change your credit, you have to be disciplined and definitely look at it. Look at what needs to be done. Assess what needs to be done, and then do those things consistently.
Absolutely. And I will say that it's not a deal breaker for me. It wouldn't be. But like you said, it can be, depending on, there's some variables in there that you have to consider. But again, if you are in that position where you do have the debt, discipline is going to allow you have to have the discipline to execute your strategy. You know what I mean? Because and then on top of having the discipline to execute your strategy, come to myself, Patrick, or Isaac to help you even get that strategy in place. So if you don't have no strategy in place, it don't matter. You have all the discipline in the world. If you don't got no strategy, it ain't enough for you to execute. So we help people every day to execute those financial plans and or to draw up those financial plans and, show them the importance of what it is to execute those financial plans. And we get them set up with some successful things to help them take their money.
I think it's conditional. I mean, it's definitely a deal breaker if you just trifling, but if it's circumstantial, then that's a different thing for me. But if you just completely, just have no discipline whatsoever, then that's certainly a deal breaker. Nobody wants to, you don't want to. They when somebody's drowning, you have to grab them from behind, because if you grab them from the front, they're bringing them down with you. So as a lifeguard, you grab them from behind and bring them along with you as you swim back. So that's why things like that debt roll up that we just talked about, that's a strategy that you can teach somebody, and it helped them. It's a very common thing, but it's something that people do not do. It's not like this is a secret. It's not like WSB invented this, but it's something that's a part of our daily strategy, and to get people out of debt. And it still requires discipline, a level of discipline most people don't want to do. So it can be a deal breaker, but again, it's all conditional.
For sure. And then on top of that, y'all, join our campaign to add those streams of income so you can elevate your finances in a major way. Like Isaac mentioned earlier, we have a campaigner. She paid off $65,000 in debt last year during a pandemic. So that just shows you what this campaign do for people. And a solution for you is cool, but you want to make sure you have those added streams to really, really solidify and secure your financial future. And we help with that. So join us for sure.
Tanisha, I don't know if you got the contact information up there for us. If she doesn't, that's all right. I could be reached at 678-643-4370. My Instagram is OC, the letter N, Atlanta. OC, the letter N, and Atlanta. And that's how you can reach me.
And my name is Marcus Hunt. You can reach me 404-620-7421. My email, wfgsolutions91@gmail. My Facebook, my name, Marcus Hunt. You can search it. And IG, Marcus M. Hunt 91.
And you can find me on Instagram at Patrick Grays 4325. Message me on there. You'll also see updates on Fathers and Finance when our show will be being aired, and all the new things that are going on with us with WFG and the campaign. Also new events. Also reach me at 678-327-1551. My phone is always on. I don't sleep at night. You can ask my lady. She gets on my head about getting to sleep, but I really just be up. So I'm always available. Give me a call. We can talk about finance and discipline.
For sure. For sure. And then for everybody, all the fellas, your lady, we have Mommies and Money, our lovely
Every Thursday.
Money on here. She every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Mommies and Money. They have a show just like us here at Fathers and Finance on Tuesdays. But Tanisha Steiger, she's one of the main ladies for Mommies and Money and the brains behind Fathers and Finance. For sure. So definitely tune in.
Because we don't have none according to her. So
yeah, right. Tell your ladies Thursday, ladies, Mommies and Money. And feel free to tune in to Fathers and Finance as well. We have fun and educate.